welcome to our coffee and conversation. My name is Karen, and I am one of your recovery coaches.
Mhm. Welcome, everyone. Once again, my name is Craig, one of your famous recovery coaches here at Capital Recovery Center. Good to be here with you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Say good morning. What's up, man? My name's Mike, one of your grateful recovery coaches here at Capital Recovery Center. Good morning, everybody. Your coffee and conversation. I got water. He got coffee, and she has coffee.
Yeah, we legit around here.
We don't play no games around here.
Bootleg.
So what's going on with us? We got check out the Spotlight Recovery for this month. It's on the Capital Recovery page every month, first Friday of the month. We spotlight someone who has been successful in their walk, in their recovery. If you would like to be one of the individuals who would want to share your success, follow the link in that underneath that description with the flyer, and you can fill out the information, and with your permission, we can spotlight you for one of the coming months of next year. And any other announcement we got?
Our Recovery on Wheels will be out at Wendy's on 39 East Broad Street.
Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Nice. And any
yeah, so just a reminder, we have our suicide prevention walk on October 23rd.
nice.
Here it is.
And you can go to the link if you want to support the suicide prevention. It will take you straight to the website where you can support in any type of way. It's always a nice event, and if you could say nice, but to support people who have suffered from it, or people you have loved ones that suffer from it.
All right. Just want to add, we have the robust going out different various places. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to go out and do the road event at the Violent Police Department.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. Now we got it.
Yeah, so we're gonna let you guys know all the other road events that we're gonna be at, so that you can let your loved ones know. Come out. You yourself, if you need help, come out and receive some service.
Yeah, we'll be at different locations. We will be putting a flyer out where we'll be at because now that we go out Monday and Wednesday, you'll be able to participate or come and bring individuals that possibly might need some of the services. With that said, last Tuesday, we were talking about, or in the frame or the mindset of relapse prevention. Actually, it was 5 tips to strengthen recovery after a relapse. And today we're going to do some more in the area of what to do after you relapse. Today's lesson is so you've been clean and sober, but you relapsed. What now? And a lot of times this is important because when a person messes up, missed the mark, or slip, relapse, whatever you would like to call it, sometimes they don't know what to do. What now? So we're going to go give you some more advice from our personal perspective. This particular handout came from the cornerstoneofrecovery.com website. You can go to their website, cornerstoneofrecovery.com. They have a lot of things on there that you can use for your own personal edification, or in a group setting, or teaching like we're doing today. And so it's called So You've Been Clean and Sober, but You Relapsed. What now?
What do you do now?
What do you do now? All right, let me start off. It says, so you relapse. What now? Few things are more demoralizing for those in recovery from addiction or alcoholism than a relapse. Call it what you will, a slip or a stumble, going back out, falling off the wagon, picking back up. It all amounts to the same thing. So don't get caught up in the terminologies that individuals use. if you go back to the lifestyle that you are actually wanting to come out of, or that you came out of, I don't care what you call it. It's the same direction. It says it all amounts to the same thing. You reintroduce drugs and alcohol to your body after a period of abstinence, and it may or may not be causing a cascade effect of emotions and physical responses that are clawing at the edge of your sanity. And the reason why that's so powerful, because a lot of times, more than a lot, 100% of the time when an individual relapse, the first person that starts to wear on, or the first thing that starts to help it happen is guilt. And no one has to actually talk to the individual that relapse, slip, whatever you want to call it. Their conscious mind instantly lets them know you did something wrong. Like it's unavoidable. It's no way for you to tell your conscious mind. As soon as you do something that you pick up another substance or alcohol and you go back to the old lifestyle, your conscious mind instantly will alert you, hey, I appreciate it.
So as believers in Jesus Christ, being myself, me, Mike, and we all, I would like to believe that, my pastor always say the Holy Spirit, convict us when we get ready to do something wrong. But it's up to us to either adhere to the Holy Spirit or ignore it. And so, as Mike was saying, your conscience,
something's going to let you know that. So that's why when my particular strategy at work or home, no matter what, because what I do at work, I do all my life for individuals. But I never pound on a person that mess up. And the reason why is because their conscious mind is already tearing them up. So when you relapse, one of the things it says, believe it or not, you're not alone. According to the National Institute on Drugs, relapse rates for people treated for substance use disorder are compared with those with people treated for high blood pressure and asthma. 50 to 70% for asthma and hypertension, and 40 to 60% for substance use disorder. As the National Institute of Drug Abuse points out, relapse is common and similar across these illnesses. Therefore, substance use disorder should be treated like any other chronic illness. Relapse serves as a sign for resume, modified, or new treatment. You see, I say it all the time. Whatever your relapse prevention plan that I had in place, I'm going to use myself. I had a relapse prevention plan in place that my mentors, my sponsor, my spiritual advisors, they said, this is the plan we're going to follow in the process of you staying clean. Now, I've jacked it up. This was the plan, and I derailed somewhere. So when I went back to those same advisors or spiritual advisors or whatever, or mentors, whatever terminology, they said, we got to change something. I said, why we got to change something? They said, it's obvious it didn't work. So this right here is saying you have to, when you find yourself in the relapse state, whatever prevention plan, if you don't have one in place, you need one, but something has to get modified. If oftentimes I talk to individuals and they say, I'm programmed out. I can't do no more program. I can't go no more rehabilitation centers. I can't do no more treatment. And I always will reply to them, if you can do another drug, you can do another treatment. Because if you're not going to change your lifestyle and you're constantly continuing to play Russian roulette with your life, then I'd rather you take a chance with getting some help for your life. So let's go down to you relapse. What now?
All right. You relapse. What now? Stay calm. Don't panic.
Flip out.
Just listen to what we have to read from this article. It says, Bill Lee, a program specialist and interventionist at Cornerstone of Recovery. That's a place where this article is derived from. A drug and alcohol treatment center near Knoxville, Tennessee, understands immediately how relapse can trigger a cycle that returns in a person with substance use disorder or an alcoholic into the same state of hopelessness that brought them to recovery in the first place. All right? And so Bill Lee, he understands that. Anyone who's been there understands how shameful it feels, how guilty it feels. Mike talked about that a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
They're already feeling guilty. Don't beat them down with the guilty back.
Yeah.
How it freezes us. Lee says we immediately start to wonder if anybody knows. If they do, are they going to say anything?
Question, not a question. Everybody knows. Like I remember.
You only hide it for so long.
I remember. I used to think I was hiding it from my wife, and she said, "How did you not know? How do you think I didn't know that you were actually using drugs when you're using the knife to punch holes in your belt?" Because I got so skinny. She said, I used to have a knife and I would be making holes in my belt. He said, you going in the kitchen getting a knife and putting a hole that's not in your belt. A smaller one. He said, you putting holes because you done lost so much weight. I done got so skinny. So she said, so why am I saying that? Everybody knows. Everybody knows, trust me.
We might even avoid going places like recovery meetings where we might have to face what's happening. And in some cases, we'll continue to use, become increasingly isolated and avoid everyone associated with our recovery.
If you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to avoid people in the recovery circle or in the positive circle, and you trying to avoid those circles, pay attention to your thoughts because you possibly could be headed for relapse. Because when you start to try to distance yourself from people who are trying to lead or live in a life that's in the opposite direction of your previous life, why are you trying to distance yourself from anything dealing with recovery? I don't want to go to meetings. I don't want to go around nobody that's talking positive. You probably didn't actually pick up a relapse at that moment, but pay attention to your thought pattern, because before you actually pick the substance or alcohol up, your thought patterns start to change before you even touch anything.
We know addiction is a brain illness and not a behavioral disorder, Lee says. People with substance use disorders and alcoholics think differently, even when they're, I'm on the wrong, this was printed out to me. That's what I got.
Front back.
That's like this.
That's all.
All right, commercial break. All right. It says that the worst case scenario is that days or weeks or months later, we're sitting at home in our underwear, staring at a blank TV, drinking a beer, hoping nobody comes over and that they might come over at the same time, and wondering what happened. And we can stay stuck like that. That's a grim picture, right?
Yeah.
But if you relapse, know this. It doesn't have to get to that point
At all.
First, let's examine a few things about relapse so that you can understand why this may happen. Be prepared, though. You may not like what you hear, but hear it you must in order to get to the other side and get back on track.
Get back up.
You might don't like what you hear.
You might don't like what you hear, but you're gonna have to get back up eventually. When you start the process of working yourself back to where you were, just stay calm, like we was just saying, and get back up. It'll work back out for you. Now let's go at it's in your head. Huh? Yeah. Let's go. It's in your head. You want it, Karen?
Yeah, you don't want to go over this?
Yeah, you can. You got it.
Where do I start? So I'm gonna go over. It says, according to Nicholas Gwenzel and Dennis McCharb.
Yeah. DM.
DM writing the peer-reviewed medical journal. Some prevention programs have gone so far as to break relapse down into 3 distinct phases.
Okay, what are they?
The first one is emotional relapse, in which an individual has no conscious plan to use or drink, but is exhibiting behaviors that belly a certain recklessness, including isolation, not attending recovery meetings, or not sharing in meetings, focusing on other people's problems, and poor sleeping or eating habits.
Mm.
The second one is mental relapse, during which the individual struggles with the 2 desires of staying sober and using again. Signs of a mental relapse including craving a substance, thinking about people, places, things associated with their use in the past, exaggerating the positive aspects of past use, and or minimizing the consequences of past use, lying, bargaining, trying to plan ways to use while still maintaining control, seeking opportunities to relapse, and planning a relapse. And then the final stage is the physical relapse, the final stage where the individual resumes the use of a substance.
This is so good right there. I'm glad you caught that. We ain't skipping. But emotional, remember you have the emotional part first, and then you have the mental relapse, and then the physical. Then that's why I always say you don't just jump out there and pick up the substance or alcohol. It all goes through your emotional, then you have the mental, and then the physical. Man, all right, let me get it. You start lying, cheating, and all that before you pick up the substance.
Absolutely. And they call those 3 phases biopsychosocial.
Biopsychosocial
behaviors. And so, I had to learn that. I didn't just, a light bulb ain't just come on. I learned that in school. And so, we had to do these papers and stuff, and I had to learn out, in social work, you have to find out the biopsychosocial aspect of behaviors. And so, it all applies. So
throwing around his weight. But anyway,
it's good stuff. I like hearing that.
That was good. I'm glad she caught that.
I'm glad she didn't go over that.
I'm glad she
didn't do a drive-by.
But anyway,
we were gonna do a drive-by. Yeah, we stay on track. Let's get back to him.
It's in your head.
All right.
Is it in your head? No, really. Let's see what we got here. Page 3. It says, we know addiction is a brain illness and not a behavior disorder. Lee says, addicts and alcoholics think differently even when they're not using. Even when they're in a long-term recovery, the alcoholic or the person struggling with an addiction thinking is still present. And when we haven't been to a meeting in a long time, or we don't reach out to people we need to reach out to, that's when things get serious. That's when you start to distance yourself from people, all things recovery. When you start to distance yourself, you're basically having that emotional, mental thing going on. The physical part of the relapse has not transpired, but that emotional and mental part is starting to waver or wear you down. We know all of this stuff, but knowing it doesn't really motivate us to do it. Awareness itself is not good enough. It's like it says in the Bible book, James, faith without works is dead. I know that's right. That's kind of what this is about. You can have all of the information about addiction in the world, but if you don't do anything with it, it's not going to help. Wow. That's my phrase. I got on one of my books on the cover of the book. It says information plus application equals destination. And what that simply means is you can have all the information in the world, but if I don't apply the information to my life, I'll never reach my destination. And my father always said, you'll reach a destination, but it might not be the one you was looking for.
Right, hold on. Wait a minute. Now, what book was that, bro?
Minor Adjustments. The Minor Adjustment Workbook, man. Information plus application equals destination. And this says here, you can have all the information about addiction in the world. If you don't do anything with it, it's not going to help. I used to talk to some of my clients and they would tell me, man, Mr. Mike, I know all that. And I said, you know what? I know you do. I'm trying to get you to apply what you know. I know you know it. I want to get you to apply what you know, because if you apply what you know, you won't come back to see me, not inside of another institution or rehabilitation center. So let's see. In that regard, it's important to frame relapse in the same context as other illnesses. Speaking with you, United States News World Report, humans have a host of self-destructive behaviors. We do it with food, with lack of exercise, with smoking. The professor in the Associated Chief of General Internal Medicine at Albert Einstein College said, how many of us haven't resumed behaviors we've pledged to stop? Changing your behavior is hard.
That's right. Yeah. Change for some people is very hard.
Very difficult.
Taking on new tasks.
Yeah.
You know, I used to always equate this, and I'm not gonna ramble, but I used to tell myself it's easy for me to go back to my old behaviors because I do that with ease. Yeah. But learning new behavior became a challenge. Yeah. And so I said, well, I want to challenge myself. I don't want to go through life just, getting by or getting over. Let me take on some tasks that will, put me through the test. And push myself. And so that's what I want to leave that with the audience today is that, listen, don't go through life, and school used to have back in the day social promotion where they was pushing people through. Yeah. Through school. And then when they got, in the real world, they would enact. Yeah. And so never allow someone to just push you through or take the easy way out.
Yeah, that's terrible. I remember one time I was in like the 5th grade and one of my friends who lived in my neighborhood had beat the teacher up, literally. And he beat the teacher up. He went to jail or whatever. And so the next year came, he went into juvenile detention or whatever for like 6-7 months, whatever. And when his 6th grade year started and we was in the new classroom and everybody was coming in first day of school, and I seen him walk in, I said, "You not in our class?" And he was like, "Yes, I am." I said, "You can't be in the same grade as me. You went to jail."
I went through the whole year.
And I didn't understand that they was trying to push him out of school. He was that it was like, just let him get in 6th grade and we done with it. And I said, wow. Yeah, what you were just saying, don't let people push you through stuff. You want to try to learn as much as you can in life, not just in substance use area or the field of addiction. You want to try to learn all throughout your life. Never let nobody just push you off. I call it pacifying you. Don't just go for the pacify. Sometimes people would just try to shut you up and give you something to try to pacify you. Don't do that. Don't pacify.
Well, you're working on something this morning.
Hey, let's go, man. Where we at? I don't know where we at. I left off.
Hold up. Before I start, baby, I'm on the right page, man.
Page 3.8.
I need Karen.
Yeah.
3.8.
All right. And it says, and as a journalist, Ruben Castaneda, that's a Spanish word, points out, or maybe it's Italian.
He ain't Spanish, but anyway.
Okay. He points out a relapse isn't solely the domain of those new to the recovery process. For example, in 2014, Academy Award-winning actor Philip Seymour Hoffman was found dead with a syringe in his arm in his New York apartment. Hoffman, 46, died of acute mixed drug intoxication after injecting himself with a concoction of heroin, cocaine, amphetamine, and benzos, known as benzos. Authorities said the previous year, the actor told TMZ he's been sober for 20 years, but had relapsed.
Wow.
God. Been sober for 23 years and tried to do it one more time.
And that's killed him.
And so, we often deal with the public when we do the knock and talk, those who have been Narcan, and we come to find out that they're using drugs, which is very new to me, is fentanyl.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who may use it for the first time don't realize how potent and powerful this stuff is, and that they are using this stuff and it really is causing a lot of damage. And so we want to tell you or encourage you, do not mess with that stuff. I want to say it first of all, do not mess with it because it's different from
Dangerous.
when I was using drugs.
Dangerous stuff.
They was using morphine.
Now they don't even use morphine like a Tylenol.
It probably is. And so please, if you need some help, please reach out to us. I believe the phone number has been scrolling across the screen.
856-391-7449, or you can call 1-800-236-2448 for any of the services that we provide. Thank y'all for tuning in again. We will be concluding the same lesson. We're going to do another week of this because this relapse, when you relapse, now what? After you relapse, now what? We want to let you know that it's possible to get back up and do prayerfully that, obviously, I mean, that if you're hearing us and you have suffered the relapse, then you have the opportunity to right that wrong. And some people actually don't have the opportunity to do it over. So if you had to find yourself in the relapse state or whatever terminology, slip, you call it, whatever, stumble, I don't really care what you call it. I'm just saying that we are here to try to help you as recovery coaches, and you can reach out to us and we can try to help you get back on that correct path.
And also, if you're out there in the audience listening, tell a friend. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
All right, share it.
Yeah.
Share it with your friends.
That's right. We're here.
We're here, all right? See you guys later.